Badd Popp here, Ridiculous.com, with another episode from the Lair. Except this is a semi-lair. It's kind of a semi-erect penis, kind of like in the corner here. But disregard the penis in the corner. All right, got some stories here today, and I was reminded on some emails, some people that know me personally, about some stories that were forgotten that they want to hear on the show. And so this next couple are some stories we're going to jump around a little bit in the timeline, because I'm trying to stick to the timeline from start to finish, but there's so many in there, I skipped over a few. What are you going to do? I had a brain housing disconnect. You're going to have to forgive me for it. So this one here, I call Dick in the Yogurt. All right, so as a young soldier, one of the most common things that happens is you have huge amounts of time where you don't really do shit. It's the hurry up and wait mentality, which is the military. So a lot of times when we're doing nothing, we'd all look around like, all right, who are we gonna fuck with? So on this particular day, we're in the chow hall in the 9th Infantry Division. I think it was 1987. And one of the soldiers, I'm not going to use his last name, I'm just going to call him Johnny. He was a raging asshole, came from LA, so he had a big chip on his shoulder, and it was fucking with him and fucking with everyone else. Because I mentioned it in my book, The Warrior's Way and the Soldier's Soul. If you want to, do anything in life, you got to get the chip off your shoulder. So, and he couldn't do it. So we're in the chow hall eating breakfast, and I remember I went through the omelet line, ham and cheese, I got a yogurt, oatmeal, toast, the usual stuff. They feed soldiers fairly well. And I'd eaten all my food. I was just about to get to my yogurt, and Johnny sits down right across from me, and I have a couple other buddies with me. So he says, hey, watch my food, because I have to use the pisser. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. He gets up and walks out. And I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but it just had to happen. I jump up, grab his yogurt, take the lid off, turn, and I give a courtesy turn so nobody really sees it, plunge my penis all the way into his yogurt to the point where the pubes were scratching the surface, pull it out, boom, put the lid on it, put it back on his tray, button up, sit back down. Now, I didn't really know this at the time, but 3 tables to my left and to the back of me was the full bird brigade commander, another company commander, and a bunch of other captains who saw the whole goddamn thing. So I look over and I'm white as a ghost because, I think I'm totally fucked. And all of a sudden, the full bird one of the captain tries to stand up, and I remember I heard the colonel. He's like, no, sir. Sit down. Let this play out. Let it play out. And the whole table of officers, including the brigade commander, watched. This old Johnny came out of the bathroom, sat down, took the lid off his yogurt, takes a spoon, and as soon as he put it in his mouth, I'm like, I put my dick in your yogurt! He's like, eh! And the whole chow hall erupts in laughter. And I'm like, oh shit. And we all get up, we all scurry out. And I did get a harsh talking to by my company commander about 45 minutes later. And this is the imitation of him, because he always talked like this. Because he was a West Pointer, he always knocked the ring, which I really don't respect a lot of those guys. I've seen over my 30 years of officers that come out of West Point, maybe 2 or 3 that were good. The rest of them were all just filling up seats and punching tickets. So it's like, he called me in his office, like, all right, Pop, I just want to talk to you right now that I saw what you did in the chow hall, and I will have none of that anymore. That was crass and rude, and you should get run up the flagpole. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, I sure hope it's not the flagpole you ram up your ass every day. I didn't say that, of course, because I was just a private, and I didn't want to become a private E1. I think it was an E2 at that time. So, yeah, I kept my mouth shut and said, oh, yeah, sorry, sir, I was just fucking around. Just fucking around. My first sergeant loved it. He was laughing his fucking balls off. So after I get yelled at by the commander, the first sergeant walks up, slaps me on the back, and say, "Hey, Pop, that was some good ass shit, man. Keep it up. You're good to go." That's a damn good story. Okay, here's another one here. That was the Dick and the Yogurt story. Now we're gonna go submariner stories. Okay, when I was new in the Ranger Battalion, and I was an E4, so everyone hated me because I jumped in front of a bunch of people for Ranger School. And the mentality of the battalion back then is they wanted to get guys off the street so they could train you how to think and act, and you'd be like a total Ranger, whatever. So I did have a lifeguard certification. I got that when I was in the 9th Infantry Division, and I did scuba on the side as a civilian thing. So I got volunteered for an upcoming mission. It was a joint operation between the Navy and the Army, basically the Rangers. And they made me, the scout swimmer. All right, because I was a good swimmer, because to be a lifeguard, you got to swim well. So I went to the MTT, which stands for Mobile Training Team, and they train you to be a scout swimmer. And I wore it was like a wetsuit, but it wasn't like a real thick one. And all I did for like 3 goddamn weeks is swim in the Puget Sound. It was insane. All day, from 9 o'clock till 3 in the afternoon, they gave me an MRA for lunch. That's what I did, is just fucking swim. I swam in the rough surf, open water, along the rocks. I learned how to do, retrievals, beach surveys. I mean, all that crazy ass bullshit. And mind you, when we execute this whole thing, the day before it started, I sat down and we talked to, what the SEAL team that we were going to be operating with. I was a scout swimmer, and there was 3 more of us. And I don't remember their names. I think there was one from each company. So we were talking to the SEALs, and they weren't SEAL Team 6. They're just one of the other SEAL teams that the Navy has. They're good guys. They're good guys, They're just like us. They're just Rangers that swim, in my opinion. But before they would allow me and the other Rangers onto the submarine, we had to actually have a briefing by the submariners. And they are a whole other breed of fucking sailors. Okay, I call them sewer pipe sailors because when I went into that sub, I was in there for like 6 hours. It smelled weird. It smelled like BO, farts, armpits, and a low-grade, shitty smell like fresh shit. And they stay in that environment for like months on end underwater. So all those guys, they're fucking crazy. So the night before the mission, we're sitting down and we're having a few beers with these submariners, and they tell me some of their fucking stories about how they share a cot. Like 3 guys share a cot for like 8 hours, and then they get out and do their shift, and then another guy coming off shift gets to sleep in there. And they would tell stories about beating off on the sheets or in the bed, so the new guy who comes in has to lay in it, which I thought was repulsive. But hey, they're sailors, so what are you gonna do? Okay, and then I was talking to one of the senior NCOs who ran basically the bridge. And he was, we're all drinking, so, people are, alcohol is more like it's like a truth device, because people really say what's on their mind when they had a few beers in them. So he would sit there and say, you know what, this is what it's like on the submarine. And he goes through and he tells me about it's just fucking routine, crazy bullshit that you do over and over and over again. You sleep in a coffin, you keep your shit like in one fucking footlocker, and maybe if you're lucky and you rate your high enough rating, you actually get a real locker on a wall. And you stay like that for like 3 to 6 months on mission while they're out on some of these subs. Now the sub that I was in was Fast Attack, so it was a nuclear sub. I don't even know if they still have those anymore. But he told me he had done tours on other subs, and he was towards the end of his career, and that one was working in the area, so he wanted to retire to Washington State, which is respectable. But he went and told me about how he would pull shift, like the 3rd shift at night when everyone else is down, and he would show up to run the bridge of his submarine wearing flip-flops and a Speedo with reading glasses on him. And then he would be like, if people showed up in uniform, when he would be like, hey, what the fuck you doing? What am I wearing? That's right, this is a uniform. Get in it. So everyone on the deck who's working the submarine is wearing Speedos and flip-flops, and a couple of them had Hawaiian hats on. So they have to break up a monotony or they'll go fucking crazy. Because humor is the ultimate defense against the universe. So that guy and I clicked like this, man, because I got it. I always got it from the very beginning. That when you're under a hardship like that, especially psychological hardships, you laugh your fucking balls off and you get through it. I just fucking couldn't believe it. So we do the mission, okay? We go out in the sub, we get out, and I'm thinking, I gotta swim maybe, 800 meters, what's the big deal? I get out and the SEALs get in the water and they're doing their thing. And I'm looking around and I don't see any fucking land. I'm like, dudes, like, where are we swimming to? And they're like, I got the compass. We're going that way. We're going to swim to the beach. I'm like, I cannot fucking see the beach. How fucking far is it? And he's like, I don't know. It's over the horizon. What the fuck is that? So I spent the entire goddamn day swimming with these SEALs to the fucking beach. Okay, I don't even know how far I swam. I was so rock bottom smoked by the time I got there. I was fucking just useless. Now, I'm gonna give it to the SEALs when it comes to water operations. Those motherfuckers got their shit wired tight. And I can't keep up with them. And one of the main reasons why I didn't join the Navy is because I love the water and I could swim like a fish. But if I can't see the shore, it fucks with me real bad. Because I know if I can see the shore, I could swim to it. I might get pissed off when I'll be a very unruly, mean motherfucker when I get there, but I can make it. So they do the beach survey. I'm thinking they're going to come get us in a Zodiac and we're going to go back. It's going to be all good. And they're like, nope, gotta swim back. I'm like, oh, fuck. We're on the beach maybe 40 minutes. I got like enough time to pound some water, eat a couple crackers and a peanut butter packet, and then I'm back swimming. And we didn't swim as far back as, over the horizon on the way back, but it was a good 2 clicks. And once you swam all fucking day, and then swimming 2 clicks after that, I was wrecked. I was literally bedridden for 3 fucking days. 3 days. I was like 21 years old. Prime shape of my life. Smoked to the point of useless exhaustion. But, I'm glad I did it. And if I could, I'd do it again. All right. Now, I mentioned on one of the past videos that I had to sew a guy's back up. And somebody put in the comments that they want to hear that story. Now, this particular story took place, like in the 90s, mid-90-ish. And it involves some stuff that I did with the Special Forces. I can't really go into a lot of the details because I'm still bound by a non-disclosure agreement. So I'm going to leave country names out and names of the people involved. So we got to do this one mission. It's a simple one. We just got to do a recon on this particular area we're in and mark down the areas of interest on the map and then bring it back and then report up the chain. And then they come by with, the host country comes by with planes and they spray these particular areas with herbicide to kill the crops. Whatever that is, I can't really say, but I think you can put it together. So it's me and 6 other guys, and we're going in there to do the snoop and poop. And we do a low-level drop. I'm not Halo qualified. So we go out of the helicopter, boom, chute opens, we land, we pack them all up, and one guy is not there. I'm not going to say his name. He's kind of a dick, but, it's his personality type. So we roll up our chutes, we stash them, we look for the guy, we find him, and he's fucked up, because apparently we were in the country we're at, they would burn like the jungles down, and then they would grow crops for a couple years, and then they would go move on to another area and do the same thing while the trees regrow and stuff. But they had left a barbed wire fence there, okay, and the barbed wire was broken, but the pickets that were holding it up was still there. The guy landed, and the end of the picket cut his back right over his spine, and it looked like a hockey stick, and it was maybe this long, and it just came down with a little hockey stick. It was bleeding like a sieve, and the area we're in, if you have an open wound, you got fucking gangrene just like that, and it's over his spine. So I'm telling him, I'm like, hey, that's a bad place to be cut, and I think we need to call you in a jungle penetrator and get you the fuck out of here and get you to the hospital, get you fixed up. So, and where we're at, it gets dark probably about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and there isn't a long like dusk, and the light's going down. It's like somebody turns off a light switch, and it's darker than 3 feet up a well digger's ass. And that fucks with the frequencies. So we put up a 202 antenna, which is homemade thing. You throw it on top of a tree and you pull it up with a rope so you get more range out of it. Or trying to call in back to get him out with a helicopter. We couldn't make contact. So it's dark now, and we're all like, oh fuck, what are we gonna do? So we're all cross level all his shit so he doesn't have to carry his rucksack. And I look at him and I'm like, okay, we got 2 choices here. I sew up your fucking cut on your back, or I sew up your cut on your back because it's going to get infected by morning. I don't have sutures with me. We don't have actually a medic. We all just, it is what it is, 6 guys. So, pull up my hook needle, put in some dental floss, held it together, sewed it, no problem, brought the flesh together so it would seal, put on some triple antibiotic ointment, Band-Aid on top, or bandage on top, let it be. And, the morning comes, and he's like, as long as I don't have to carry that fucking rucksack, I think I'm good to go. So we're like, oh yeah, fine. So we do the mission without a fucking hitch, nothing big happened. We come back, we go back to our extraction point, and they come and get us, take us back. And that day before we got picked up, because we were in there about 6 days. 5 days. Picking up on the 6th. About the 5th day, he's bitching about it's itching. He's like, man, goddamn, Pop, this is itching. Can you check if it's infected? I look at it, it's not infected. I put some more ointment on it, and I go, hey, man, it's probably the cinnamon flavor, bleaching out in your skin. He's like, what? And I go, all I had was dental floss, and it was cinnamon flavored. You motherfucker! Oh, I checked that. It was wintergreen. It wasn't cinnamon. So he's all upset. He goes, you sewed it with dental floss, you nasty pig, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dental floss, if you have to sew yourself up, works like a fucking charm. It's waxed. It's very durable. It's clean, and it's not going to rot in your body. So when you have to take them out, they come right out. So we land back at the base. He gets off the helicopter, runs right to the aid station to have it redone because, it's dental floss. So he goes in there and they look at it and they're like, nope, we're not going to do shit. It's not infected. And come back in 3 or 4 days, we'll pull those stitches out. You'll be okay. And to this day, around that scar, there are green dots from the flavor of the dental floss where it was sewn together. He's still mad at me to this day. Love you, bro. It was funny. I'll talk to you later. So anyway, that's all I got for today, gentlemen. Hopefully you liked it. Comments below.